I am taking part in a giant game development challenge called Game Dev Knockout. This challenge has 10 rounds, eliminating 10 game developers in each. This will be a 1 to 10 part series where I cover the games and challenges I make in this jam. At any point in the jam, I could be eliminated, so this series is as long as I can make it. This video will be covering how I tried to make movement for the jam and how different states alter player movement. The winner of the whole event gets this epic t-shirt and I want it, so I'm gonna try my best. Let's get into round 1 of Xanderwood's Game Dev Knockout Challenge. This time, the challenge was to create a unique player movement system, so I got to work. The first idea that came to me was physics, because using momentum and gravity is always super fun. I thought about having a snowboard-like movement where all you could do is jump to avoid obstacles while going downhill, but that didn't feel too unique. I liked the idea of a board though, so I decided to stick with that. I created a few movement prototypes to see which was the best, but none of them felt quite right. In order to achieve the movement I wanted, there would have to be a fair amount of control over the player, as well as the controls being tricky to fully grasp. I decided on making a simple double jump towards where the board was rotated and being able to rotate the board with the arrow keys. This felt fun and used states well. Let's talk about states of movement. All movement systems have different states that change depending on the circumstance. If we look at a simple platformer controller, a state may be if you are able to jump or not. While you are on the ground, you can jump, but in midair you can't. This is a simple state that the player is in, and the more states you add, the more complex the player is. As a general rule, it is good when the player can visualize what state they are in. For the platformer character, you can simply tell that you can jump when the player is touching the ground. So what states does my movement system utilize and how is this visualized? The movement is a hoverboard with 3 states, these states being grounded, midair, and empty. When grounded, you can't rotate the board and your only system of control is one button. This button is the jump button, and when you press it you launch in the direction of the board. While in the grounded state, timing is critical, because you can control the direction you boost in by waiting for the right angle. After the vital button press to get you off the ground, you enter midair. While in midair, you gain a new ability, the ability to rotate. As minimal as this seems, this is the linchpin to control. Now with the ability to rotate, you can change the direction you'll boost towards. This opens up movement and allows the player to aim where they want to go. This state is the most open, having 3 buttons to use, left, right, and jump. After jumping towards where you want to go, you enter the third and final state, empty. Now that you've used your midair jump, all you can do is rotate. Your current velocity is kept until landing, but you are able to alter the angle you land at. This state has 2 buttons, left and right. While in this state, you can't do much except waiting until you become grounded again and restart the cycle of states. The way I visualize different states is altering the color of the hoverboard in order to make it look different. I thought these states were quite interesting and had some cool interactions, limiting different things in each state and creating a good movement ability. There was one problem with this system though. It was very difficult to control. The competition rewarded uniqueness, and while this was certainly unique, it wasn't accessible. If I wanted my game to be rated well, it needed to be controlled easily. I was very used to these controls and had lots of fun messing around with them. But when I sent it to some people to test, they thought it was tricky to control. I can definitely tell why, as it is quite complicated, but this was very disappointing. Instead of using the board movement I created, I made a circle. This circle was a lot less complicated and much simpler. It used the same grounding system with 1 midair jump and 1 grounded jump, but control was much different. Control was now entirely based on the mouse rather than rotating. This let the player have more control of the direction, but it didn't have the same intricacies. Although I changed the movement by the end in order to move on, the hoverboard will still always have a place in my heart. I will be posting a video for GDKO about every 3 weeks until I am knocked out. This week, the results are in. I made it. That's all for this week's episode of GDKO. I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.